All right, so yesterday when I got back to the house, I just brought the plant, put it into the room because, it's a fresh plant. Hey guys, welcome to my channel where if you know, you can grow. So let's erase our doubt and let's pay attention because with Sean, it's always something to learn. So I always inspect the plant before I leave the nursery or any place that I get from, but then I also go back again when I get back to the house. So that's what we're doing right now. We're just going to be inspecting the leaves, just ensuring that I don't see any type of pest or mealy bugs or thrips. Just kind of taking a look at that. I like to go ahead and see what leaves need to go ahead and be removed just to get the plant back healthy. Remember that a plant puts a lot of its energy to dead leaves as well. So remove it so that plant can just go on about its life, okay? Let's see here. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and grab me some shears. Although I do believe these are clean, I'm gonna go clean them off just to be sure. Alcohol pads. I'm not endorsed by them, but hey, alcohol pads is showing what they kind of can look like. Right here, save a lot. Go through here, wipe the shears off or whatever you're using to cut. And I'm telling you, it's worth it. Just being careful because, yeah. Now, I really do believe one is more than enough. I mean, anything that's surviving that alcohol like that, good luck. So then what I do, I just have something just to catch some water. I just spray them off because if the alcohol is strong enough to kill the bugs, it might be strong enough to kill the plant. So we just want to make sure we're good to go with that. Now, of course, you can use some warm water over top of it if you want to. That's completely up to you. So next thing, what I'm looking for is, hopefully you can see this. We're just taking a look at leaves like this right here, brown. They do no good for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut them off. And I want to get as close to the stem as I possibly can without cutting the stem. Keep in mind that if I have to keep cutting a lot of leaves off of a certain stem, then I'm going to go ahead and just cut that stem off. This leaf got pulled off. This is gone. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just restart her over. There. This plant is really healthy though, guys. Like she really is. A little bit of damage just with transporting and things like that. And gosh, this leaf is so beautiful. I hate to cut it all the way. So sometimes if I like a leaf a lot and I see that it's beautiful, just has a few little dings and bruises, I keep that leaf. I cut that part off. I mean, why are you gonna cut the beauty off just because it doesn't look perfect, It got something right. So yeah, so that's how I groom these up. Sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked. This is what happened when I get to being with my plants. You learn a lot from these plants, even with the care. You learn that plants really can push you to your limit because you're so confused, because since they don't talk, you really have to get in there and figure out what's wrong. But the part that I love about a plant is that it teaches you about accountability. I will say that just popped in my head, that word accountability, because I'm looking for the word. Yes. Accountability. When you don't show up for your plant, it shows. Like, I mean, a lot of times, sometimes things do just go completely left and you don't know why. That does happen. I'm not going to say that doesn't. This happened to me more often. But it's also been a lot of times in which I've called a plant being confusing or difficult because I just didn't give it the care that it needed. Now, it's very easy when you're dealing with, like, my pothos over there. It's easy to bounce back if you forget. That's why I like them over there. Just in case I'm busy, just in case I got stuff going on, that's a plant that's going to be good. Some of my other ones, like the philodendrons, they're pretty good too, but monsteras, they're a lot more needier than philodendrons, even though they are easy. If a philodendron can go 1 day without water, then the monstera can go a half a day without water. So it's probably a stupid analogy, but monstera can go a half a day without water. So it's probably a stupid analogy, but that's the best I can do. Anywho, this plant right here, Imperium, is a plant which I keep on losing because I keep on wanting to put this plant up on a moss pole. And it stresses me out because usually when I buy those plants, by the time I get them, they're already at the top of their peak and pole, so they need an extension. And the only way that I can do it, because you can never size up on extension there, I have to remove some of the aerial roots that have attached to it and put it either on my new one all together if I'm building it from the base all the way up, or if I'm just putting it behind what was already started, I have to peel those back and put it on there. And between that and every time I do that, I have to repot the plant so I have something to stick the stake in, right? I always mess it up. So this time I'm gonna aim for not having to necessarily do a repot on this plant for a while. The funny thing is, inside of here, it's against most stuff of what I talk about. I see nothing but looks more so just like an indoor pot mix like Miracle Grow that was just thrown in here. That's the crazy thing about it. So of course I want to get in there and put my own mix in there, but what if some of these plants that I'm thinking, just even though they are the same and even though some of them just prefer things different, or if what they started off in really does matter as they get older, because if that's the case, then I've basically been taking kind of like mature plants and shocking them and to figure that out. So I'm very excited about this and the fact that it has some size on her in this way. I've paid the exact same price to get plants just like on a moss like that. So this plant was $78. That's what I paid for it. You may be able to get it cheaper or more. You know what? The thing is that based on where you at, prices just are different. You know, the nursery that I bought it from, like every single one of their plants I've purchased from them are doing great. So they got it right. They know what they're doing. So, plant looks to me pretty good. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that off. Neem oil, peppermint soap, and my bottle of water. I hit that mix together and then hit them with a nice little wipe down leaf. Put my gloves on. A little bit more spray on it. Like I tried to make it look cool, you know, but there we go. All right, and now what we do is we just start wiping the leaves. Now this is the part, I guess, where I'll go ahead and fasten forward because I know that you do not want to see this go down because this is going to be a while. All right, guys, so I have had a much smaller one for about 2 or 3 months. So these are the things that I really do recommend. You definitely want to pay attention to your light requirement because it does prefer a bright indirect light. Your watering requirement, you definitely want to make sure that that soil is draining through. That's why I prefer a good perlite or some orchid bark in there just to kind of break that up. That peat moss is nice until it doesn't go anywhere. Humidity is going to play a major factor into that, and since most people cannot control their humidity, then that would be something that you can be worried about, but if you just missed your leaves occasionally, you should be fine. The soil, as I mentioned before, you definitely want to make sure it has like some peat moss, perlite, orchid bark, a little bit more or less, however way you want to do. And this plant is a climber, so you could put this on a moss pole and it would do its thing, but as I talked to you previously, every time I do, it doesn't perform well. So let's just take a look at her. Isn't she pretty? Again, I appreciate you being here. And remember, when you're growing with Sean, it's always something to learn.